Pulling up the drive, Jane immediately knew something wasn't quite. It didn't take her much time to realize what was off, and when she did, the audacity of it left her astonished. But before we start, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and smash the notification button for more exclusive stories. Jane Albert had always been a people pleaser, a loyal wife, and a good mother who sacrificed her own needs for the sake of her family. But after her bitter divorce and her children have grown out of the house, she persevered to a new beginning. With the proceeds from selling her home, she moved to the peaceful Newton country in Georgia, finding comfort in a charming yellow house in the leafy suburb of Trotter's Walk. Little did she know that her closest neighbor, Johnson, would become her most painful headache. From the moment Jane moved in, Johnson made disparaging remarks about the color of her house. At first, she brushed it off, thinking it was just a quirky personality. His remarks became more pointed, and one day he even gave her a business card for his son's painting company, urging her to consider a more sensible color. Jane politely declined. She loved the bright, cheerful yellow that lifted her spirits every time she returned. Regardless, Johnson wasn't one to take no for an answer. What began as subtle hints turned into demands and then harassment. He even tried to involve the local authorities, claiming the yellow paint was lowering his property value. But Jane had the law on her side. Her house wasn't in a homeowners association, and there were no regulations against her chosen color. But Johnson, undeterred, continued to press his case, becoming a constant, unwelcome presence. Then came the final straw. After a weekend away visiting her daughter, Jane returned home to discover that her annoying neighbor had crossed all the limitations. He had gone so far that he repainted her house without her permission. The violation felt deeply personal, but instead of giving in, Jane decided to take her own revenge. With a defiant glint in her eyes, she headed to the hardware store and purchased the gaudiest colors she could find. Neon green, pink, purple, orange, and yellow. Over the next few hours, she repainted the side of her fence facing Johnson's house in the loudest, most obnoxious palette imaginable. When Johnson returned and saw the vibrant mural facing his yard, he was infuriated but powerless. Jane calmly explained that she was simply exercising her First Amendment rights, and there wasn't a thing that he could do about it. It was her house, and she was not going to let her strange neighbor decide how it had to look or what color it should be. It was her decision. Word of her colorful act of defiance spread quickly throughout the neighborhood, turning Jane into a local hero. Neighbors who had quietly endured Johnson's overbearing nature began to rally around her, sharing their own stories of his harassment. The once quiet community of Trotter's Walk had found a new sense of unity and connection, thanks to Jane and her strength. With his reputation in tatters and the vibrant reminder of his defeat visible every day, Johnson finally decided to sell his house and move away from his neighborhood. He wanted to go as far as he could from his previous area. Jane, on the other hand, thrived. Her once lonely existence was now filled with laughter, friendship, solidarity, and a renewed sense of purpose and resilience. The yellow house remained a symbol of her strength, resilience, and colorful spirit. Jane refused to be bullied. Jane had finally, and after so many years, learned that sometimes standing your ground isn't enough. You have to do it with flair and colors. Jane's journey from a people pleaser to a bold, assertive woman was now a legend in Newton County. She had not only fought for her right to live in peace, but she had also brought her community together. She learned how to stand up for herself, proving that even the pettiest acts of revenge can carry profound results when backed by courage and creativity. What do you think of Jane's plan for revenge? Comment your thoughts on the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share it with your fellows.